You may wonder why the change of environment for this episode. Well, at the time of recording this episode, it is Super Bowl Sunday, and the members of WONC are currently in the basement playing 2K, WWE 2K. And it's funny because I came in early today. It is 3-ish. I came in early to record this episode to prevent having to move everything upstairs to record. But it's funny, I ended up having to move it anyways. So this is the scene for this episode today. And honestly, moving everything upstairs wasn't that hard. And it proves to me that I could really take this show on the road and record anywhere. So yeah, let's get into this episode. Hi everyone, welcome to the third episode of As a Creative, the podcast focusing on empowering creatives, giving them the tools and knowledge to thrive in the industry. My name is Robin, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about confidence. Last episode, I discussed the tips and advice that I think you need to thrive in the industry to be a successful creative in 2025. I also mentioned that confidence definitely plays a key role in the advice that I shared in that episode. Confidence definitely is a key factor in being able to commit to working on things, to dedicate yourself to your passion, and to work towards your goals. And so this episode, we're going to be discussing how to gain confidence, how to grow your confidence in yourself, in your skills, in your work, in your craft. So let's get into it. So in my last episode, we discussed the importance of doing your own personal projects and committing to improving your skills and your work. I would say this plays a key factor in growing your confidence because the more you do something, the more comfortable you become and you are able to build more trust in your abilities just through doing something. So here's my little twist on that bit of advice. Track the amount of time and effort you put into your passion projects or into improving your skills or working on your work. Why? Being able to visualize the amount of time and effort you put into your passion projects, into your work, into improving your skills, it helps justify to yourself why you should feel good about your work, why you should feel good about your skills, about why you should feel good in your abilities as a creative. In all honesty, what really matters is the amount of effort you put into improving your skills and working towards your goals, your career goals. Because in all honesty, it takes dedication to really focus on improving your skills, working on your work, and staying consistent with it. Even if you don't end up finishing a project or getting the end result that you want the first time, you still put in the effort to figure out what didn't work, what mistakes you've made, and you wouldn't have realized those mistakes or wouldn't have worked out those kinks if you hadn't have put the time in to figure that out. In all honesty, that should be acknowledged and rewarded. Even if you really dedicated yourself to working on something and you did not end up completing it, you still probably learned something or discovered something that you probably wouldn't have figured out if you hadn't had put the time in to figure it out. And in my opinion, confidence is something that you need to prove to yourself. And visualizing and quantifying the amount of effort and time you put into improving your skills and working towards your goals, that can be used to prove to yourself objectively why you should have confidence in yourself. Second tip, find mentors in the industry to look up to and absorb knowledge from. And this is something that I mentioned in the last episode, but this is also important for building your confidence. Personally for me, I have found many creatives that I take inspiration from Some are online creators, some are artists, some are musicians, some are producers. To name a few, Kel Lauren, Rick Rubin, Tyler the Creator is a huge one for me. J. Cole, Doechii is a recent one. Again, many of the names I just mentioned are not only just garnered towards graphic design. They are people in the creative industry, in different branches of the creative industry, music producers, artists, musicians. So for many of the names I just listed, I look up to those people because of the way they go about the creative process and how they view creativity as a whole. So Tyler Creator, which is the biggest inspiration out of all the people I mentioned, I look up to him because of how authentically himself he is and how careless he is of other people's opinions and how straight to the point he is about just doing it.
And I've always had a dream of making a clothing brand like you. And they always told me you have to be at some point of like a success level to be able to do that. And yeah, I just want to know like your take on that, because that's after I left the label and because I just felt like I wasn't treated right.
And don't take this the wrong way. That is the goopiest I've ever heard. And I'm saying that because it's like, you clearly want to make some, so why not just make it?
Because I'm scared.
Of what?
I don't know.
Exactly. You just answered your own question. Just make what you want to make. And probably the person who told you that?
One of the label people.
Do you like how they dress?
No.
So why the are you listening to them?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
So go make you trying to make.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah. But like for real, don't like hype yourself up now and then go home and be like, oh, I don't know. Like, do it. Worst come to worst, what's going to happen? You make it. Someone says they don't like it. All right. Will you like it?
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
He reminds me that creating things and putting it out into the world shouldn't be this heavy, complicated, and difficult process. Like, it makes sense just to make something and put it out into the world. It makes sense. It's logical. There doesn't have to be any emotions tied to it. If you make something, put it out there. I would also say too that I've gained some mentors in the industry during my short time working in the Chicago media scene. And while opening doors for me, I've realized through them that we all deal with the same obstacles. We all deal with uncertainty. We all deal with fear. We all deal with insecurities about our skill level and our abilities. Recognizing that we all as creatives deal with the same emotions helps humanize the way that we feel and just take comfort whenever those feelings come about. Third tip, surround yourself with constant inspiration and constant motivation. Personally for me, I did not have the confidence that I have now to be able to talk on camera, to promote my work on social media, promote myself, and being able to randomly go up to people at events and network. This is something that I've worked up to. And this little bit of advice is gonna sound weird in the way that I'm gonna word it, but I would say it was very key and critical to building my confidence the last couple years. Put yourself in an echo chamber of constant inspiration and constant motivation. What got me to this point now is constantly listening to self-help and motivational content. I constantly listen to Hitomi, Lynette Atkins, Leo Skepi. Leo Skepi has definitely been a big inspiration to me, and he makes a lot of life coaching and self-help motivational content. He was actually one of the biggest inspirations for this podcast, and the way he goes about improving yourself and getting yourself out of ruts. I want to garner his approach and his advice towards people that work in the creative industry, which is hence what this podcast is. And I know this sounds weird, but I would say 2 years ago when I was at my all-time low with confidence, putting myself in this echo chamber of constant inspiration and constant motivation, being around things that I know deep in my heart that I want to be, that I want to do, that I want to create, It definitely, eventually, it instilled confidence into my head, and it definitely got through at some point that why should I be afraid? Why should I feel insecure? I should just straight up be confident, because I had so many things around me telling me I should be those things. And eventually, I just started having confidence in myself, and I started doing things, making things unapologetically, and stopped caring about the outside world. So I would say putting yourself in this echo chamber of constant inspiration and motivation, mixed with self-reflection and using the time to address your doubts, your uncertainty, possibly through journaling. Journaling isn't necessary, but finding some sort of way to self-reflect and take that time to connect with yourself. Strengthening your connection with yourself definitely helps overall build your confidence. Through addressing your doubts and your insecurities, strengthening your connection with yourself, it will eventually over time make you ask yourself, why shouldn't you have confidence in yourself? Why shouldn't you be proud of your skills and your abilities and you? So once you strengthen your connection with yourself and address your doubts and uncertainties, that with finding inspiration and finding mentors to look up to in the industry, once you do all that, over time, eventually, if you surround yourself and again, put yourself in this echo chamber of that, eventually you'll look at yourself in the mirror and wonder, why can't that be you? Why can't you be like the mentors that you look up to? Why can't you make the things that you want to make? Why can't you make the work that inspires you? Why can't you be in that position in your career that you want to be in? And you'll realize there's nothing really holding you back except you. And you'll realize that there's no reason why that can't be you. So again, taking the time to improve your skills and tracking the amount of time and effort you put into your craft, into your personal projects, that gives you the objective reason of why you should have confidence in yourself. Furthermore, constantly surrounding yourself with inspiration and strengthening your connection with yourself further propels you into committing to doing things and actively working towards your goals. Last of all, share your work, which I mentioned last episode mainly through social media. It is out of respect for you, your skills, the time and effort you put into your work that you promote it. And that's just straight logic. Again, it goes back to objectively proving to yourself why you should have confidence in yourself, in your skills, your ability, and in your work. I think I made my case. If you like this episode, make sure you like the episode on YouTube, go rate me on Spotify. If you want to support the show and see what's up, follow the podcast at as.acreative. And if you want to see what I'm up to, what I do, what I be working on, go follow me at ROOBIOS at Rubios. And yeah, I can't get up and hold the camera, but yeah, see you next episode.